the non-district games are behind us. Homecoming's behind us. It's time for district football action. Welcome to the morning huddle here at First Financial Bank. Terry Slavens along with Coach Cliff Watkins. And Coach, all the preliminaries out of the way. We are ready to play district action. This is what, they all count. You want to win them all, but these are the ones that are must-wins.
Right. That's exactly what we talked about Friday night right after the game. It was a good win, but now none of that matters. Now the real season begins.
Let's talk about last week's game against Breckenridge. You and I talking off the air here earlier. Really, and I think I might even texted you this last week, a tale of two halves. I mean, the first half, a dominating performance on both sides of football, especially defensively. Got out to an early lead and 27 at one point 27-0, I believe, and then they score a late touchdown, make it 27-7 at the half. But fantastic job. We always pick a player of the game, and we chose to go with the defense, and with good reason. A great job in the first half, and then a huge stop in the second half when they were going on to possibly score the winning touchdown. But take us through that first half a little bit. Talk to us a little bit about the defense and the job they did stopping the Breckenridge run.
Well, they came out with a lot of intensity and was by far the most physical ball game we had played. And, that's one thing we talked about last week on the show about our emphasis was we've got to be more physical than we had been. And we definitely were. I believe Breckenridge had 6 possessions in the first half, and 5 of them were 3 and outs. We knew they were big, they were physical, they were going to run right at us. And our defense stepped up and did a great job of almost completely shutting them down in the first half. They got their first down about halfway through the second quarter. And so they did a good job playing sound assignment football and getting a lot of hats to the football.
A couple of things that happened on that scoring drive for Breckenridge in the first half. The first one being a busted play. I think it was the first play from scrimmage where the quarterback had some miscommunication in the backfield with a runner, and he ends up scampering, I think, out to about midfield, and that put him in good field position. And then the big play was the fumble down inside the 20 that everyone thought Eastland had recovered, everyone except for the guys that mattered, and the referees gave it back to them, plus the first down.
Right, that's right. It was the third down, and defense made a play again. Ball's on the ground, and we recovered, and we're going out thinking we have the ball, and they end up giving them the ball back and giving them the first down. And that was a big momentum shift right there, but wish we could have found a way to get a stop right there as well and had them shut out at halftime.
And one of the things that we talked about is consistency and discipline. A lot better job penalty-wise last week. Now the consistency coming back out in the second half, maybe we're not with the same fire and vigor as what we played in the first half, but you have to give credit to Breckenridge. The coaching staff never panicked, never got out of their play scheme. If we could have scored one more time, or like you said, made one more stop, all of a sudden they can't continue to run that ball, and their passing game wasn't that
right.
effective.
Right, and that was our game plan all along. We knew if we could get up on them and make them throw the football and get them out of what they wanted to do, then the advantage would be to us. And we get up 3 scores, and like you said, we didn't come out and match our same intensity in the second half. And we needed one score or 1 touchdown, and then now they're really in a bind. They were able to go down and score, and that's a great job by Breckenridge's coaching staff. Like you said, they didn't panic. They stayed with their game plan and kept running the football, came out and showed some things that they hadn't shown to start the second half. And we even had a 4th and 8 on that drive. And right there to make a play, don't quite make it, and they get the first down. But then, like you said, they go down and score. If we could have responded right there and went down and scored, we get down to the 15-yard line and we turn the ball over.
Right.
Can't happen. If we finish that drive and score, now the clock was running because Breckenridge was running the clock. Running the ball all night. So we just needed 1 stop or 1 score to finish them off, and that was our focus all week this week is finishing. We've done a pretty good job of coming out all 3 ball games, coming out pretty intense and having fast starts, but we've got to finish ball games and finish people off when we have the chance.
play 48 minutes of football.
Yes.
Yeah, a full 48 minutes. We went for the field goal, and definitely within Juan's range. The kick was. I talked to Coach Marwitz Saturday evening, and just a breakdown there on the coverage on the special team. I couldn't even tell you who blocked it because there were so many jerseys right there at that point. But even that, if we put that through the uprights, it makes it a two-possession game, and it changes what they have to do.
That's another thing we talked to on Saturday morning to the guys. We can't ever take any plays off. Special teams are special, and that's why they're called special teams. And break down on assignments there. We didn't step down and block the way we're taught to block on our extra point field goal team. And because of that, like you said, there was a lot of leakage, and they blocked it. We talked to the guys Saturday morning. If we make that field goal, the game is probably over.
Right.
Because of what they do offensively, there's not enough time left for them to score, get the ball back, and score again. Another instance for us to finish them off right then, and we don't take advantage of that opportunity.
Coach, the final drive of the game, Breckenridge is doing exactly what they want to do. They're going to, if they go in and score, we're going to have very little time, if any time left on the clock to try to strike back. But the defense comes up huge on the fourth down play, turns it over on downs, and the Mavericks can run out the clock.
They did, and you could watch them on their sideline. They were waiting until the play clock was down to 1, and they weren't going to snap the ball because they knew that was their final drive. They were either going to score and win the game, and there was not going to be any time left, or we were going to stop them, and it was going to be the game because there was not going to be any time left when they gave up the football. And just like a couple weeks ago, our end of the Clyde game, our defense, they bend, but they didn't break. They found a way to step up and make a play at the end of the game, and came up huge. Like I said, they played great football the majority of the ball game. And this week we're going to try to put 48 minutes together.
Coach, Matthew Majors continues to be a force on offense. 8 receptions, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. Looking at his season stats, that gives him 30. Let's see here. Receiving 28 total receptions, 368 yards. He's averaging 122.7 yards per game receiving. Those are unbelievable stats.
Matt's doing a great job of getting open and catching the ball and making plays when he is given the opportunity. And, there's going to be people that are going to, start doing some things to try and take Matt away, which is fine because we got other guys that can step up and make plays and will. And it's just kind of how it's happened so far. They've singled up Matt, and Matt's done a good job taking advantage of that. And we got other guys that are ready to step up and show that, we got other options to go to as well.
And Brant Bailey out of the tight end position, and Chris Martinez out of the backfield, both them with 4 receptions. Probably the loudest impact from Brant Bailey offensively was last week in the first 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah, it was, and we had talked about it that we needed more production out of Bailey, and there's a lot on his plate. He's one of the few guys we have playing both ways, and so he's playing a lot of offense, a lot of defense, and but now we've got him settled into a spot that we think he's best at defensively, and he's comfortable there and rotating in with some guys, and so he's was able to make a bigger impact offensively.
Jason Jones, along with Gus Barker, lead the way defensively, and George Atchison. Good to have Gus back. He made one tremendous hit there in the ball game.
He did. Gus, like we've talked about before, Gus just always finds a way to be around the ball.
The ball, the right
usually
time.
When he gets there, he's going to let you know he's there.
He let that one guy know.
Yes, he
didn't forget who Gus Barker was.
No.
Offensively and defensively, through the first 3 weeks, Coach, your first tenure as a head coach, how do you feel about things? How are things going?
Pretty well. Seeing a lot of good things, seeing a lot of things that we can fix, and the good thing is they are fixable things. And the main thing now is putting a full game together. That's what we've talked about all week. We've played some good football. We've played some ugly football. We've played some undisciplined football. And now it's time, now that district's here, it's time to step up and play our best football week in, week out, and continue to get better. And, like we talked about all week, showed some glimpse of really good things in the first half. But we got to do that for 48 minutes. We do that for 48 minutes, then we got a chance to do some really good things.
All right, Coach, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk about last night's results, preview next week or tonight's other district games, and Oh, who knows what else we might talk about. You're listening to the Morning Huddle on KATX Sports. And welcome back to the Morning Huddle here on KATX. We doing a little bit too much talking and not paying attention to what was going on. Coach Cliff Watkins joined us last night. Coach, let's start out with the little guys. They got to take their first road trip of the year. They headed down to Millsap. How'd the junior high boys turn out?
Did good. The 7th grade, 2-0 now. They won 36-0, and 8th grade as well as 2-0. They won, I believe it was 24-12. The black team went over to Breckenridge and found them a game to play Breckenridge again, and Breckenridge scored with about 30 seconds left, beat them 28-22.
Wow.
So, got a lot of kids, a lot of reps again last night, and the two that went to Millsap both came home with a victory.
And the junior varsity played here one game, and another 17-0, I believe was the final here.
17-0.
Talk to us about that game.
You know, the defense played really well. They didn't. I don't know if they had many positive plays throughout the whole game. They had some, but defense, you know, played good, ran to the ball, was physical. Offense turned the ball over, I believe, 4 times, and just not a. It was a sloppy game. A lot of things we got to fix and to get better week to week. But good to start the district 1-0.
And next week it's City View.
Yes, City View.
JV will be at City View. Junior high will be home. Will we have a full slate of games for that one, or no?
We have one JV that will be at City View. JV Red will be at City View. JV Black will be going to Stephenville to play Stephenville's freshman B team. And then both junior high games will be here. Right now we do not have a JV Black game.
Okay, so junior high Black off next week. We did pick up the extra game for the JV at Stephenville, so coaches going every which direction next week.
Yes.
Taking a look at not much district action last week. Santo 46, Jacksboro 12. Maybe not surprised with the winner, but maybe surprised by the margin of victory, 46-12 Santo over Jacksboro.
It was a little surprising because Jacksboro played Breckenridge close for a while, you know, and through most of the second quarter.
Half, yeah.
And so they must be having a few ups and downs, which a lot of people are. It's still early in the season.
And then Millsap, our opponent tonight, they get a win at Perrin 38-32, a close ball game.
It was, and Millsap's 3-0 and doing a lot of things right now and finding ways to win ball games.
Other games on tap tonight around the district. Cisco makes the trip to Holiday. Holiday coming off that loss to Clyde last week. Cisco coming off their bye week. Don't see that the Lobos will have a whole lot of trouble up there with Holiday. Be surprised.
I would be surprised.
Henrietta at Nakona. Henrietta, interesting team in the district.
They are. Heard a lot of things from Henrietta that they playing good football, and you know they've showed it so far throughout the season. I believe they're 3-0, and they open with Nakona, which Nakona I believe is 0-3. So I would expect Henrietta to win that.
City View at Jacksboro. City View, a team that has put up 70-plus points in a ball game, then played a really close game against Windthorst, winning 40-something to 40-something.
49-42, I believe.
49-42. City View, I would expect, would win this ball game at Jacksboro, but they seem to be a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
Well, consistent scoring a lot.
Yeah, I think they're averaging about 53 points a game, so they're putting up a lot of points. They have given up some points, but I would expect them to put up a lot of points against Jacksboro.
Coach, coming out of last week, everybody fairly healthy. I know you moved some guys up, and that was more out of necessity, not having the extra JV game last night.
Right. We got one that's out with a concussion, but other than that, I believe everybody else is good to go.
Good to go. All right, Coach, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Millsap Bulldogs here on KATX Sports. And welcome back into the Morning Huddle Live at First Financial Bank. Reminds you, if you'd like to see, and I don't know why you'd want to see me and Coach Watkins on video, but if you would like to see us on video, EastlandCountyToday.com will have this video up around 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, and you can take a gander at it in case you missed it, or if you know someone that missed it that wants to listen to it or watch it, they can do so at EastlandCountyToday.com. Coach, we before we get into the Millsap Bulldogs, we have a little friendly pick'em contest. We call it the KATX Celebrity Pick'em Contest. I tried really hard to get Dale Baker into first place, at least a tie at first place, and because I miscounted how many games Bailey missed. But David Bailey's in first place. Can you believe that?
Again.
That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, kind of surprising.
Who's the champion from last year?
And he is the
Returning
defending champion. Yes, he is. And Baker was the champion 2 years ago, and he says he's coming back again. But
Where are you in the mix of this?
well, I'm about middle of the pack. I had a good week last week, so that was good. So that moved me on up a little bit. But I don't know how Bailey does it, but I think he cheats or something, but I'm not sure. Anyway, let's talk about the Millsap Bulldogs. Eastland and Millsap haven't played in a few years. For that matter, I don't know if anybody's mentioned this to you, but the last time we played each other was right out here at Mavericks Stadium, and before the first half was over, they had 2 players ejected. So they were a little physical back then and undisciplined. New coaching staff there, 3-0 start for them. They've been a down program or a rebuilding program for several years. Well, what are they going to show us offensively? Are they going to try to control the clock, or are they going to spread it out on us?
Offensively, they're going to be an old slot T, and they're going to run it probably 96% of the time. They're going to run, and then when they think that your secondary's falling asleep, they're going to play action and try and get something behind you. But they're going to milk the clock and let the play clock run down and see if they can get 3-4 yards of play and move the chains and let the clock run.
Now, that seems to be the MO for a lot of teams when they play us these days, limit our possessions, because we've shown we can score quickly and often. So the less chances we have, the better chance the other team has. So assuming that if they win the toss tonight, they're probably going to take the ball and try to score and get on top and make us play from behind and burn off 6 or 7 minutes off the first quarter clock.
Right. They're going to, and we're going to have to take advantage every time we have the football because of what they do, and they're going to try and limit possessions, and that's what happened to us in the second half last week. We had 2 possessions in the second half, and that's these teams that are running the ball and running the clock, that's what they're wanting to do, is just keep the ball away and limit the number of possessions we have.
Key skill guys for Millsap who we need to keep an eye on?
Number 20 on both sides of the ball. He's their best offensive player, does a lot of good things, and that's who they're going to try and get the ball to. He's also a good safety for them defensively. They're going to run a 4-3 on defense. They have 2 big tackles inside, and number 33, they're Mike linebackers, another good player that gets to the football, and he's a sophomore. The thing, they run a 4-3 defensively, but they have a strong side and a weak side of almost everything. So they're going to try and flip to our formations. With all of our formations, our tempo's got to be good, and hopefully we can snap the ball before they can get set and get lined up.
And you say number 20 also the guy to watch defensively. Anyone else on defense? So we need to keep an eye on.
33 is their middle linebacker. He's a good player, gets to the football. And then, like I said, their tackles are big guys that they're going to try and clog up the inside, and they don't want you to get movement, and that's what we're going to have to do is create a new line of scrimmage and get good movement up front.
For the 3rd week in a row, our O-line, I assume, I haven't talked to Coach West, but I assume they scored out pretty well last week against Breckenridge.
They did. Had some bust here and there that hopefully we got fixed this week, but overall they're playing good. They're doing a lot of good things.
And defensively, the Mavericks, nice to have Dylan Miller back in there for a 2nd game in a row. He's getting better and better, and we'd already talked about Gus Barker. Always good to have him in there. But a lot of guys really making some great plays defensively for the Mavericks.
Yes, they are. And the first few weeks we've been moving some guys around and trying to find out the best fit for them, and we finally feel like we found where we want everybody, and that now they're learning their position and know what's going on, and being able to give a few different looks, and like we said earlier, playing the physical ball that we want to play, getting a lot of guys to the football, and then being physical when we get there, and getting off blocks and controlling the line of scrimmage, which is key on both sides of the ball. But with Dylan Miller in the middle and our ends, we've done a pretty good job controlling the line of scrimmage.
And also, when you control the line of scrimmage, it makes for a field position game for the Mavericks. For our first half last week, we had great field position almost every possession.
Yes, we did. We didn't have a long way to go because of that, and that'll be key tonight. you know, and we want to strike fast offensively, but it's always easier to do that when you have a short field.
How many folks do we have? How many players do we have playing both ways on a regular basis?
Regular basis, probably two. There's one, I believe, that starts both ways. Caleb Honey starts both ways. Bailey plays a lot, both sides.
And then I noticed last week in certain situations, even Josh Gosnell's coming in and playing some defense for us.
Yes, if
in a need to.
In a need to basis.
Yeah. Late in the game, I think I saw
it. It was the last series of the game.
Last series of the game. Don't want to put your quarterback out on defense too much. So
no. Coach Fambro wants him to.
Yeah, I heard that's a little bit of a debate that Coach Fambro says, hey, I need those hands out there. But we also need his arm in there.
Right,
so,
right.
All right, Coach, well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Morning Huddle. Remind everyone again, pregame 7 o'clock on KATX Radio. If you listen online, KATXradio.com. And also you can check out a video copy of this episode of the Morning Huddle on EastlandCountyToday.com. That's going to do it. Thanks to my guest, Coach Cliff Watkins. Thanks to my engineer back in the studio, Matthew Householder. Thank you for your time this time. Till next time, I'm Terry Slavens. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone.
Good job, Coach.